Thank you to the IIPC for inviting us here to speak today. I'm Cade, Diehm, and with me here is Benjamin Royer from New Design Congress.
New Design Congress is an independent research organization that confronts the gap between what appears to be happening and what is actually happening in digitized societies. Much of what we do is similar to information security research, but we're focusing more on social and political context rather than the technical. And we publish all of our work as open access.
Today, we are presenting Memory and Uncertainty, which is an ethnographic research study we conducted in collaboration with the Web Recorder open source project. The central question of this research was, how do we preserve the past in a violent present for an uncertain future?
So we began by completing a landscape review of archive practice and combined it with a series of threat modeling exercises completed with the Web Recorder team. From there, we recruited a cohort of web archive practitioners from a diverse range of fields and backgrounds to participate in a qualitative one-to-one interviews. So participants were asked questions around 6 key areas: identity and archive structures, permissions and connectivity, socio-technical security, navigation, archive integrity, and user agency. Here are all key findings. So please note that the following slides are quite information dense. We have physical copies of the report here today, and there are links to both this presentation and the report at the end of the presentation.
The definition of archiving is broad, but flattened by digital tools. Archiving is defined both by the field and the archivists themselves. The design decisions of tools hold tremendous influence over these definitions. Web archives are complex and overwhelming to the people who make them. A majority of participants described their individualized processes developed to cope with issues of non-standardization, conceptual differences between their perspective and the perspective of tooling, archive accuracy, and the deluge of material that can be potentially archived.
Decentralized solutions are plagued with danger, and many of these dangers are unknown or remain unaddressed. Participants describe a broad range of issues that are amplified by decentralization. So, for example, we have tensions around liability when participating in decentralized archives. We have power imbalances that arise when moving away from centralized institutions, and we have a loss of control over archive custody or inability to correct mistakes or redact sensitive material. Much of what participants shared is supported by existing New Design Congress research into the unaddressed threats of decentralization. The shortcomings of today's tools affect the quality of archives, obviously. Participants describe situations such as how curatorial decision-making starts from an understanding of first technical feasibility and then working backward from here.
Web archiving needs new interfaces for navigating complex archives. Not only are participants overwhelmed by their archives, but participants described personalized systems for navigating archives. We've seen some of these here today, such as manually maintain spreadsheets or modifying archives with signposts. Full text search and other automation tools we found were rejected by participants as adding additional complexity. We believe that the same may be true for newer AI assistance proposals. Tool design influences the affects of traumatic content. There is a relationship between archive information architecture, user interfaces that display archived material, and the individual archivist's psychology and mental health. When displaying traumatic content, different configuration of these 3 factors impact archivists in unexpected ways. This is poorly understood by user experience designers.
We also have a colonial methodology and language that has narrowed the potential for web preservation. So about that, web archiving values accuracy and replayability, and this ignores other methods of memory. Web archiving borrows heavily from historical academic practice, which often demands that the wishes of the archive practitioner override the wishes of people and communities subjected to said archival. And then the next is that digital archiving is vulnerable to political and ecological threats. Participants expressed concerns about the longevity of archives. Some participants shared examples of custodianship or institutional direction changing for the worse, creating new dangers. And New Design Congress also tracks data center incidents, both political and ecological, which are increasing in number since 2020.
We're nearly through this. Archive integrity systems have unintended consequences. The needs of archivists to redact information or create navigation structures is at odds with integrity and verification efforts. Trust and verification can also be weaponized by attackers, and this is poorly understood. Finally, emerging tools enter a field that desperately needs them whilst also struggling with their shortcomings. Participants shared common desires to test new tools, but the complexity of archives and the threats to archivists and their work heighten frustrations in these tools.
And the conclusion is that after 20 years of digital stability, the threats to digital curation and custodianship are very suddenly here.
Thank you. We've got a copy of the report here today. Thank you for everybody for attending. Thank you for the Web Recorder and the Filecoin Foundation for supporting our work and collaborating with us. And come and find us with the full thing and the physical copies of the report if this is of interest. Thank you.